Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta episode 72.
70 mother fluffing 2.
I'm disappointed there's no technical difficulties today.
Bro, would you just let it slide?
Yeah.
God,
It's
damn.
kind of a thing.
It's never my fault. It's literally never my fault, just so we're clear. It's like turn this on and off and it works. Okay.
You sound a little raspy today.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm working on my silky jazz voice.
Yeah.
So, no, I've been super, super sick. So that's
What'd you have?
So after the podcast, I think I mentioned to you at the start of the last one, I was like, I don't feel that great.
Yeah.
I had like this kind of small sore throat. And so I ended right after last podcast and went to bed. And then the next morning I woke up and it's like 2 daggers were stabbing me in the throat and like this phlegm coming out of every orifice. And my head weighed like 700 pounds and super congested. Oh man, it was so bad all last week. And I'm not the type that like calls in sick. So I could just go to work every day and then just be like dead at the end of the day.
So no sick days?
No sick days. Mm-mm.
Trooper, man.
I know.
Iron Man award.
Yep.
We got a little bit of Diablo juice this week.
Oh yeah, that's what's always great, man. Going up to BlizzCon, these are the best weeks because like the rest of the year we're both like on the deep dark web trying to find shit.
Yep.
And then this time of year it's just like, and plus Blizzard keeps shooting themselves in the foot, so it's like all the news.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. We got a crap ton to talk about, so let's get started with
Buckle
the
in.
poll from last week.
Yeah.
Goes right into the shoot themselves in the foot transition.
Sure. What is your stance on the Hearthstone controversy? And again, if you guys have been living on a rock, basically last week, Hearthstone or Blizzard banned the guy that won the Hearthstone championship in Hong Kong from competing for 12 months. They took away his winnings, and then they fired the 2 interviewers that are the 2, what are they called? Announcers. Guys? Yeah. Announcer guys that interviewed him because he made some Liberate Hong Kong statements and stuff like that. So the question is, what is your stance on the Hearthstone controversy? Neutral, hey man, business is business, or Blizzard's ruling on this is disgusting. So what do you think won, and what do you vote?
Blizzard's ruling 100% is the top vote getter. I'm not even going to say that hey man, business is less than 10%.
Okay.
If I would have voted last week, I would have said neutral because I didn't have enough time to do research.
Sure.
But, after researching it a little bit, there's clearly some things I don't agree with going down. So,
yeah, well, I'll vote.
Okay.
Yeah, 65% of the vote says Blizzard's ruling on this is disgusting. 20% of the vote actually says, hey, man, business is business.
Business is business.
All Blizzard employees, by the way. And then 15% of the vote is neutral.
New meta viewership toxic. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Totally got it. We already knew that.
Yeah, man, it's a thing.
Yeah, to get into it. So you had some time to kind of research what this whole Liberate Hong Kong movement's all about.
Yeah.
And I mean, so what can you tell me? Like, what did you find? What is your understanding, like in a nutshell?
Yeah. So like, I'm not the best resource to like quote exactly what the movement is.
Sure.
But apparently, China and Hong Kong are like separate entities, I guess, or states is the word I want to use.
2 nations, 1 flag.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so China was trying to get like extradition laws and stuff passed where they could like deport people back from Hong Kong to China. And basically like anybody that pissed them off, they would just deport them to China and then like throw them in jail forever.
Right.
So that's kind of what I got from it. And so there was this whole thing that's like, this is some BS and people are protesting it and things like that. And then it started this whole movement of even more than just that extradition law. Like it just went bigger than that.
Sure.
So So that's kind of what I got. And then from, the Hearthstone player, I guess. So I guess some of the symbols of this protest is to wear a gas mask and
so part of
kind of like the riot gear,
right.
is
So
what I'll call it.
Part of what's happened since, so like they protested in the streets to like stop this bill from happening, which was the bill to extradite people that pissed off the government of China, basically. And they started protesting, and then eventually riots happened, and it's gotten so bad that like people are getting killed. People are like, the police are firing live ammunition into crowds of people, and then the crowds of people are like flowing Molotovs, cocktails on the police officers. It's gotten pretty bad from what I've read, but that's from the shroud of North American media. But yeah, and so basically, to touch on, to just add to what you're saying, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it's gone.
Right.
And then this Hearthstone player won a tournament, and he wore what is, I guess, the kind of the symbolish
right. So
of them.
Yeah, one of the things that the police did was they made it like illegal for you to cover your face, and so that's kind of like a symbol, like wearing like a goggles and gas mask is kind of like the symbol of like the Liberate Hong Kong kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so he wore that on this interview after he won the tournament. I guess he like just put it on real quick or something. I actually have a clip of it for the people that are watching the YouTube or catching it live. So he's wearing, the guy on the right's wearing the costume, and then I think the casters like tell him to say the 8 words, which I guess is like liberate Hong Kong, the something of our time or something like that. And the casters, I duck their heads, and there's some speculation of like what that means. One is like that they're trying to hide their face, that like maybe they don't have anything to do with it, and the other is like, well, they're covering their face too, because that's what the movement is.
Yeah.
But to me, like this kind of strikes me as like super playful. Like, what was your kind of impression of this, just watching it?
Yeah. So, the first time I saw it, I just took translations from for word of mouth off of Reddit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how good they were, but it definitely seems like they were being playful with it and stuff. But I think they knew what they were doing, 100%.
Oh yeah.
And obviously the Hearthstone player knew what he was doing. So I think they're probably for the movement, and that was their way to support it and to kind of give it a little bit of airtime.
I don't see how you could live in Hong Kong and not be for the movement.
Yeah, so it's regardless if I agree or disagree with it, I think that it's the penalty was a little harsh. Like to take his winnings, like you can't take somebody's salary post, thing.
Right.
Like
so
if you want to ban,
let's just talk about that like first, right? So Blizzard took away his earnings, and they banned him. They suspended him for 12 months, which is just wild to me. Like, taking away someone's like he won the tournament, like a 100% legit won the tournament, and you're gonna take away his winnings? Like, that's insane. Like, I don't know. I can't think of like, other than like just deliberately like racist or like the most vile thing like a human could say after winning. I can't see.
I don't think
any
you
reason.
can take their. I don't think you can take their earnings though. That's like saying you post something on your Twitter, and your job fires you and then doesn't pay you for the code you wrote for the last month.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, you could fire you. Like, sure, you could be like, you know what? We don't agree with what you said. You're fired. That in itself is debatable. But, you can't take his winnings, in my opinion. Like, if you want to suspend him for 12 months or indefinitely.
Yeah, 100% you should do that, because if they signed something that was like, no, you can't do that. Yep. But you can't fucking take his earnings.
Can't take his money.
Yeah.
And then the announcers, like, you know, I don't know. So
okay, so let's just say that you're in that situation, right? So here's a perfect example that I thought of, and this would 100% have ended differently, right? So say someone wins like the Hearthstone championship at like BlizzCon, or say the Overwatch championship.
Yep.
The team that wins, they come out, they win, and afterwards they say impeach Trump. Right?
Right.
And let's say it's before this. Nothing would have happened. 100% nothing would have happened.
Right.
I
agree.
It's the context.
Because it's socially acceptable to hate Trump.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And it's not the strong arm of China that's going to say, no, you can't say that and we own you.
You know, to me, I look at this and I can't help but put, you know, things together. And it's like you got China apparently has really strict gaming regulations where it's super hard to get games released in China.
Right.
Diablo Immortal is about to get released to China, the biggest mobile market on the planet. And you know, it's like Blizzard's going to try to keep them happy is the way that I feel. And I think the way that most people feel. It's like, not only do they already have all their games over in that market anyways, but Immortal potentially could be the biggest moneymaker they have. And I can't remember the exact number, but basically China has more mobile gamers than we have people that live in the United States. Like they have like 400 million mobile gamers or something ridiculous. Like we don't even have that many people in the United States. You know what I mean? So the market's ridiculous over there.
But to put that more in perspective, say the guy says, you know, the team that won says like impeach Trump, and you're a caster, right? Like your job is just to kind of like be entertaining and like break up maybe moments of awkwardness, right? Like keep the ball rolling. So what like in that moment, I feel like if I was a caster, I'd be like, I would just make some like terrible Donald Trump impression, like you're fired, or you know what I mean? Like you would just break it up. And it's I guess that would be viewed as encouraging the behavior, even though like I don't know, man. I don't agree with the call.
It's crappy. It's a crappy situation. And I can see the money aspect for Blizzard too, a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it justifies it and makes what they did right, because I think they went overboard for sure. But let's say that they are like, no, we kind of agree with this, or they don't do anything and China's pissed off and then they lose $1 billion because of it. You know, it's crazy. Could it happen? Maybe. I don't know. But you can't take his earnings. If you want to suspend him because it's in the rules, like he kind of probably already knew I shouldn't do this. You know, you got to think that he kind of knew not to do this. And the same for the casters. Like the casters, if they're just the way they went about it. If you want to sit down and talk with them and then just don't rebook them, that's fine. But they publicly were like, we're never going to work with these guys again.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it seems like the example they set was too harsh just to like make China happy. Like what purpose did that serve other than to make China happy?
Sure.
You know,
it's 1,000% to make China happy. It's not even just to make China happy. I guarantee you the reason we saw such a quick and swift like retribution was because of the strong arm of communist China. Like there's no question about it to me. They came in and they like, yo, Blizzard, something just happened with you guys. You got to fix this right fucking now. Or like, we're cutting all business deals. And Blizzard's like, oh, fuck. Like, that's so much money. Like, we can't. No, oh my God. And so they immediately just like did exactly what they wanted before they even thought it through at all.
It's hard. If you realistically put yourself in the position of like a Blizzard CEO of China or whatever, whoever runs the China division, what are you doing? Like,
I think, I know, I get it, right?
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or ban this kid.
Business is business. But, like, it's not like someone got up there and said, you know, like, screw gay rights. You know what I mean? Like, this is, we're talking about, like, human rights, right? Like, I don't know. I think that you have to examine the situation.
From, like, a moral standpoint, I'm like, I'm with it. I'm like, listen. It sounds, from what I can read, because I don't know, I don't speak the language. I'm only using translations. From what I can read, it seems like that there's crazy shit going down over there, and like this needs to be brought to light, and things need to be done about it. But if, like I said, you're in charge of Blizzard, and China's like, listen, if you don't do something about this, you're done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so. Some people in chat are already alluding to it. So they came back on their decision. Blizzard came back on their decision and decided to give him the money to let him keep his winnings.
Yeah.
And now the two casters are suspended for 6 months. So, and the suspension for the guy that won, Blitzchung, is also reduced to 6 months.
Yeah. Some people, I saw a tweet where another gaming company, and I don't know the name of the game, and they're obviously doing it as a promotional thing. It's free publicity. But they offered to pay him all of his winnings that Blizzard took away. And they were going to sponsor him in their tournaments and other things.
Let the casters come in. Yeah.
I mean, that was cool of them to
For
do.
sure. Yeah, that's dope.
You know, I can obviously see the marketing standpoint of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're already like a big presence in the Hearthstone. You know what I mean? So it's, I don't know. I was good PR for sure, but it's not like they absolutely like needed it. You know, like they're already a presence. But yeah, and then to like to further add to this, you know, kind of mayhem that's happening is like even Blizzard employees are kind of conveying that they don't agree. And so, you know, as some of you guys know, in front of the Blizzard headquarters, there's like a statue. Some of the values, the Blizzard core values, you know, in quotations, which are think globally and every voice matters. They were covered up by employees that were protesting this decision.
You know, it's just when you think Blizzard can't get down anymore, they find a way to dig the hole a little bit deeper, you know? And then it goes on past that. Now, I don't know if you had this anywhere in the schedule. I don't remember seeing it. Did you also see that Blizzard canceled the Overwatch launch party in New York?
What? No.
Yeah. So, okay. So Overwatch was coming out on Switch. And when they made the announcement about a month ago, they announced they were going to have an Overwatch launch party at Nintendo headquarters in New York. I believe it was Nintendo headquarters in New York. The launch party is tomorrow, I think. It was the 16th. And they had people sign up, and they were going to get the first 100 people that signed up. I don't know if it cost money or if it was free. The first 100 people got to do a meet and greet with some of the voice talent for Overwatch, and it was this big deal. And then yesterday, I think, or maybe 2 days ago, Nintendo put out a statement that said that Blizzard canceled the Overwatch launch party. They specifically said Blizzard is canceling the Overwatch launch party. And I gotta think it's 100% related to the, you know, what's going on. I think they're afraid of people protesting the Overwatch launch party, especially, you know, I think there were people that were using some of the Overwatch characters as I don't know if the word ammunition is right, but like Mei and some of the other characters. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah. One of the things I found like particularly interesting. So some of the employees staged a walkout. They cover up part of the sign, but one of the things that one of the internal employees said is the internal silence is deafening. A Blizzard employee said, besides two brief "I'm listening" emails from our president.
Did they use the word "I'm listening"?
Yes. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, fuck.
What's with the Blizzard saying, yeah, we're listening, and then like never following up with anything of value? Not to be incredibly toxic, but like, is this just like jargon that you're supposed to, like, you need to learn as like a Blizzard exec or something? It's like training day one.
PR for Blizzard, like day one. We are listening. We hear you. Oh man, that's
any
crazy.
Verbiage but that. Come on.
Yeah. So interesting. Super interesting.
But you know, some of the conspiracy that's spawning off of this is Blizzard, quote, disabled authentication methods to stop people from deleting their accounts. Some people were saying that they're deleting.
Yeah, because a lot of people were protesting deleting their accounts.
Yeah,
apparently, and they literally stopped them from deleting their accounts.
Well, okay. So I'm going to provide a programmer's aspect on this, okay? So if there's something in your database that's like flagging a lot of accounts, I assume that this isn't a hard delete. You can't actually hard delete your data from Blizzard. It'd be like what's called a soft delete in the industry, which is basically like setting a flag so that your stuff's ignored, like externally. And so...
Yeah, and then they'll purge it months or years later if they choose
maybe to. Right, probably not in the case of Blizzard, but I assume what happens, there's some like safety precautions in place you know, if a bunch of accounts are being updated like within a X amount of time, there's checks and balances in place that like stops that from happening
like
in case it's malicious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what probably happened is like there's too many requests and it shut itself down. But obviously the conspiracy is that they shut it down, which could be a thing as well, 100%. But I decided to provide a little perspective there.
Yeah.
As a programmer.
It's interesting. I wonder how many of those people like 2 years from now will be like, man, I really wish I had my WoW account.
I don't know, man. I can't see, like we're seeing a ton of posts like this, right? All over Reddit. Like, thank you, Blizzard. After 20 years, I am done. Like, so many people are, I've seen so many of these. I don't know about you, but they're all over Reddit.
My brother's like that. So like my brother has been texting me, and he's an avid WoW player. We started playing Classic together. He's a little bit younger than me. He was playing since he was in like 6th grade or some shit. You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, he's like, I've been honestly thinking about deleting my account. You know? And he's like, we had conversations in the last 2 days several times about him being like, for real. He's like, I've been thinking about it all morning driving to work. He's like, this shit pisses me off, man. I think I'm going to cancel my account or cancel my sub. I don't think he's going to go to this extreme of deleting his account, but I could see him cancel his account for a year or two just to be like, you know what, fuck it, till it blows over or whatever, you know?
Sure. But this saddens me anymore because we got a bunch of people that are probably never going to come back to Diablo because they were so disappointed with how Diablo 3's launch went, right? So Diablo 4 could be this great game, and those players are never going to come back. We've got all the players that were so offended by Diablo Immortal that they're never going to come back to Blizzard's games. And now we got players that, you know, rightfully care about human rights. They're never going to come back and try out a Blizzard game. So it's like, Jesus, man, please, like, stop the bleeding. Stop it.
I don't know if they can, dude. It's gonna take some work, man. Like they gotta show up, and it makes me wonder a little bit about BlizzCon. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to jump too far ahead. But
yeah. So there's already talks of protests. Like there's a big internet activist group that's going to protest BlizzCon 100%.
Yep. So this is gonna make things interesting. I mean, I didn't think about it much until you brought it up on a podcast a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
Where you said something, are you worried about things?
Security. Sure.
Yeah, security. And I'm like, I didn't even think about it. Last year's security was pretty loose. I mean, I don't think there was a whole lot,
Yeah, just a metal detector and put your stuff in a thing.
And so it's like, this definitely heightens that a little bit. For me, for sure. I'm like, dude. And if the scenario were different, I think I would, if I hadn't already pre-purchased all my stuff, I might be like, you know what? I think I want to sit this one out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
But I've already paid for all my stuff. So it's like, well, guess I'm going to go anyways. But I don't know, man. It's definitely a little concerning to me. Like there's going to be protesters there, which means there could potentially be hopefully extra security there, but people could get into fights.
Sure.
Anti-protesters could show up, or crazy people could show up, and I don't know. Man.
There could be, because again, this is a human rights issue. I could definitely see like people, we've had some pretty brash stuff recently, like with environmentalists or whatever, like people super gluing their hands together and like, forming a line that people can't cross. And that would just be awful. Like I get maybe from people from the outside in, would be like, well, let's stop people from entering so that they can't support Blizzard. But what they might not understand is like we already like paid, and so we're just like literally trying to get what we paid for. So I'd hope there wouldn't be anything like that, where it's like this awkward. Yeah. Like, can you please just like let us through so we can like get what we already paid for? We paid like thousands of dollars to be here.
Right.
It's like, please let us through and don't stop it from happening, because like this is what we're here for.
Because I mean, if that happens, police are going to show up, and then
man.
Like, what if they riot hard enough that the police have to tear gas the crowd?
Yeah, and then the whole thing gets shut down.
Us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in that.
Yeah.
All of us that are going to BlizzCon, we're in that.
100%.
So it's concerning.
It's absolutely concerning. Yeah.
So,
and the further to add to that, like, you know, we talk about months ago, maybe even a year ago, the Madden. You remember that? Where the Madden, the Madden guy was pissed off, like that he lost like a tournament, and so he like started shooting people up. And I remember when I was a pro, like there wasn't a lot of searching that happened. So I mean, I really hope Blizzard steps up their security game this year. I'll wait in line longer, you know, just to make sure.
like people think that it's weird when you think about it and you step back. You're like, you guys are tripping. Like, you're getting scared for no reason. But then you think about it for a second. Like, literally at a Madden tournament, a guy brought a gun and killed the guy that beat him.
Yeah.
In a Madden tournament.
Sure.
Like, it's an esports tournament. That's insane. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, there's literally a shooting in our country like every fucking day. And so for us to be like a little suspicious is completely in the realm of reason. So, yeah, I mean, I hope so. Plus, there's a lot of, I mean, you know, gamers, there can be great gamers and everyone here, like, we're chilling, we're having a good time. But there's, you know, 1 out of every 1,000 of us, pretty fucking weird dude. Pretty fucking weird dude that maybe was raised in a strange
1 out of
way.
100. Yeah.
1 out of 100. He said it, guys, not me.
I don't know if I go 1,000.
Can we get a sub from 1 out of 100? Okay.
Yeah. There's some weird dudes out there for sure.
Yeah, no joke. Especially in the gamer crowd. So, yeah,
I mean, if you're a Blizzard, so you gotta, man, this is weird. So Blizzard, to me, you would separate Blizzard China and Blizzard North America. Like, you got to realize that they're controlled probably by different hierarchies and structures, and ultimately they go up to the same mothership, right? But if you were a Blizzard employee, how would this have affected you at work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's gotta be scary in itself, because you're like, man, if I go protest this, the people that walked out and they went and taped the sign over the statue, you know, they taped the piece of paper over the statue.
Yeah, they get like a little flag on their employee record.
Are you like, all right, we're watching you. Like, we can't get you now, but a year from now when layoffs happen again,
you're fucked.
Jim's fucking gone, and fuck Tina. She went out there and taped that sign up there. You know what I mean?
But you think about the flip side of that is like, so you say you're a developer, right? You're doing this great work on Diablo 4. You feel good about your job. You feel good about the work that you're doing. And then the company as a whole is like just fucking beating your name into the ground. So it's like, why am I doing this great work when it's like, it doesn't matter what game we're going to release. Like, people are already going to hate it because our company's making terrible decisions. Like, that's got to feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the game talks, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, you're gonna lose some people. If Diablo 4 gets announced and the game comes out and it's badass, the best game on the planet ever, it'll sell and it'll do well. But if it's not, it's just more fuel for the fire. You know, in the grand scheme of things, though, this is a really shitty situation that hopefully
100%.
people of China can get figured out.
Yeah.
So.
It just, the timing is awful because, like, Blizzard was going to go into this BlizzCon, like, you know, hopefully with, like, redemption on their mind, and then this happens, like, fucking, like, 1 month away.
Yeah.
Terrible timing.
Super bad timing for Blizz, man. 100%. I didn't, I should have checked the stock with all this.
It did go down.
Wonder what this,
it did go down.
Did it go down?
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to hit on that subject before we go into the more positive things that have happened?
No, in hindsight, or like, so to wrap it up, I would still 100% argue to everyone in chat that's like, they agreed to it, they knew what they were getting into. It's 100% the situation. Again, if someone had gone out there and if this was an NA tournament before any of this happened and someone said impeach Trump, you fucking better believe nothing would have happened. 100%. It is
definitely
completely
wouldn't
the
have taken
situation.
the earnings.
Definitely would have taken earnings. I don't even think they would have suspended him. I don't think they would have given a shit.
Yeah.
So
they might have been like, don't do that.
Yeah, they might have been like off the record, like, hey, please don't fucking do that again. If we do it again, we're gonna like.
Yeah, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
100%. So, and I agree 100% with that, man. Like, it's popular and cool to be like, fuck Trump. So nobody's gonna say anything.
Well, even if it's something else, like, that's maybe it's not the best example because everyone's on the Trump hate train right now. But assume he wasn't in all the hot water.
You
right?
could have got up there and said "fuck Obama."
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
While
like,
he was president.
Same thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. Same.
And nothing would have happened.
Sure.
So, I agree with that 100%. We got some D3 patch notes.
Fuck man. Yeah, dude.
D3 patch notes, PTR. Kind of surprised. I was not expecting this.
Yes.
Were you expecting a PTR?
No. It's like
kind of dropped it on us.
To touch on, so last week we got the WoW notes, which I wasn't expecting. Neither of us were expecting at all. We got some like 8.3 updates to what's going on in World of Warcraft currently. And then now we get this before BlizzCon when it's just a few weeks away.
So this is my thing. As soon as I saw the notes, like I was actually in the car driving to get lunch at work, right? And somebody tweeted it out and I'm like, oh shit. And so I'm sitting in a drive-through and so I click it up and I start scrolling through and I'm like, the first thing I saw are the new sets. And I'm like, not like this, man. Like I was instantly upset. I was mad. And I know it's stupid. Like, ThaPChild, you baby, you're getting new shit. Why are you still complaining? That's kind of how I feel, right? I kind of feel like, why are you complaining, dude? You're getting new stuff. But we're 2 weeks from BlizzCon, man. We are 2 weeks from BlizzCon, and the reveal we get for 2 of the new sets is through PTR notes. We don't get a tweet. We don't get some images of the artwork. We don't get something fucking cool. We get PTR leak.
Hang on.
That bothers me a little.
Okay, but hang on. So I think I'm with you on a contingency. So assuming that we go to BlizzCon and like the things that we hear in the Diablo realm like aren't even as cool as this, then I'm with you. Like fuck that. They should just announce it at BlizzCon, and then we could have been hyped about D3 at least, on the way home. But assuming I assume that they're making these announcements going into BlizzCon for WoW and Diablo. They're getting stuff out of the way because I honestly feel like they're still ironing out the schedule, which is why we haven't gotten it, because there's just not enough room is what it feels like to me.
I agree. The only justification I can think of is that there's so much good shit. They're like, okay, they had like a board of Diablo stuff, and they're like, what is the worst shit on this list? And somebody in the back's like, well, the Monk and Crusader sets kind of suck. Let's throw them out there. And then, and so we got this. Like, I say they kind of suck. Like, I don't know yet. We'll have to play them.
I see it as like, okay, we don't need to be talking about Diablo 3 at BlizzCon because there's like, people know that we have sets coming. So let's just announce 2 and we'll trickle them in. That'll be our game plan. And then we just won't talk about Diablo 3 at BlizzCon because there's nothing coming else other than that. That's kind of the impression I got.
The sets.
I 100% with you. I think everyone thought that. I think everyone thought that we're going to get the new sets at BlizzCon. 100%.
I think they're going to drop the other ones on us.
At BlizzCon?
At BlizzCon, yeah.
And then let us test them there?
Maybe, man. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. It just depends on how far Diablo 4 is along, right?
I'd be super surprised, and we'll get into why in a second, but I'd be very surprised.
Surprised what?
If they announce the other sets at BlizzCon at this point.
I think they could do a break off little thing. I don't know. You're right. To me, this is just more confirmation that Diablo 4 is happening. Like this like solidifies it.
Here we go. Here we go, guys.
Here it is, man. The hype train. It started. It's already moving. If you're not on, it's too late.
I'm not on. See you guys. Bye.
Dude, if they don't announce Diablo 4 and they are leaking the sets before BlizzCon, then they better not have any Diablo juice at BlizzCon. It better not even be on the schedule.
But how shitty would that fucking be for somebody like me? I'm only going for Diablo, and if it's not even on the schedule,
I'm with you. Like I care about WoW. I like WoW a little bit, but I'm going for Diablo. You know what I mean? So I'm with you. I'm not spending thousands. I'm not spending $1,500 to go see the new WoW expansion. I could definitely watch the trailer on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be there live when D4 is announced. I want to be like, I was there. You know what I mean? That's why.
I could see. Okay, let me just go down this hypothetical real quick.
All right.
I could see it. So we saw like the BlizzCon goodie thing, right? Like it's a World of Warcraft figurine. What if they come out like months after BlizzCon and there's nothing for Diablo at BlizzCon? And they're like, well, we tried to let players know that it was just going to be a BlizzCon about WoW because of the figurine. They pull that same shit that they did last year. Like, well, we tried to let the community know.
No, that was bullshit. You got to let us know before we buy our tickets.
Just tell us.
You know?
Yeah.
At least they didn't hype us up this year, though, right? They didn't put a hype video out.
They completely left us in the dark, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be upset. Super upset. If we don't get Diablo 4, I'm going to be upset, period. I mean, like they give a shit. But I would 100% be upset.
Yeah, I think if we don't get something pretty major for Diablo, then...
Yeah. Or it's got to be the most badass Diablo 2 remaster you've ever seen.
Especially if it's, this is meant to be the redemption year. Like it has to be something Diablo. Like you can't not have Diablo in there. So if we see the schedule come out in the next couple of weeks, Diablo's not even on it.
Next couple of weeks? BlizzCon's in 2 weeks, man.
3 weeks, yeah. 3 weekends,
like 2 weeks and a couple days.
Sure. But okay, so let's do that hypothetical.
We need a schedule. Schedule's going to drop tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
This podcast is tonight. Schedule's tomorrow. Guaranteed.
Okay, so that hypothetical.
Can we bet on that?
Sure.
You want to take a bet on the schedule?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. I'll say.
I think it is.
I say that they're still maybe even ironing out. So I'll say after the podcast next week.
Oh, you're saying it the whole week from now?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Sure.
Here it is.
But yeah, let's do that hypothetical. So say the BlizzCon schedule comes out, the day after one of these podcasts, and Diablo is literally not even on it. And they give like the whole schedule. They do like the small panels, the main stage, and Diablo's nowhere to be found. Do you? I mean, I guess you still always would go, but like I would have that moment of questioning, like, do I still fucking go? Especially for me.
Yeah, you're going because you got to split that hotel bill with me.
I mean, I'll still split it, but like, should I even go? Because I'll just be bored out of my fucking mind.
No, man, I still go. I still like it. Like honestly, it'll be fun kicking it with you and the other community guys. That it'll be fun. Sure. I'll have a good time. Just like last year, man. I mean, we were at a funeral last year and we had a great time.
But we still at the very least got to put our hands on Immortal and.
Was it a $1,400 good time or $1,500?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, dude.
Absolutely. Okay. I mean, I could go somewhere on vacation, but I don't even know why we're having this conversation, man. Diablo 4 is going to be announced. It has to. It has to.
Why does it have to? Why does it have to?
Because they dropped the sets and the PTR notes 2 weeks before BlizzCon.
Maybe because. There's no room to talk about it in the Diablo 3 expansion announcement.
Well, that would be good. A Diablo 3 expansion would be okay, right? It's not. Okay, so let's talk about this. Would you be happy with a Diablo 3 expansion announcement?
Yes, I'd be more happy than Diablo 4. Hear me out before you freak out. Because we get it now. We're going to get it like now or very, very soon. Diablo 4 is a fucking sure thing. There's no question of whether or not that's going to come out. It's
just a matter of if it's going to come out in our lifetime.
Right.
Not.
So I would be 100% more hyped for something we get now.
Okay, so what if it's a year wait for Diablo 3, 2 year wait for Diablo 4?
A year wait for a Diablo 3 expansion?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it still gives me like promise that there's something on the horizon for Diablo 3. It's like, well, I can continue pumping time into the game because it's not like being killed.
If anything comes out for Diablo 3 and the end game doesn't change from greater rifts and bounties, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick of doing greater rifts. Like greater rifts are one of the coolest designs in video gaming history. I think it's a phenomenal thing, but I'm sick of it. I don't want to do greater rifts anymore. So for Diablo 3 to be amazing again, I have to have new end game. I don't want to do the same shit.
I think,
I don't see.
I don't mind continuing to do them, but you better add more things to do. Like I think I treat Greater Risk like the Atlas from PoE. It's like this great base game that's always going to be fun, but we need more things to do.
Yeah.
And 100%. We're not talking fucking challenge rift, that flop, and we're not talking bounties, which is...
Yeah, it needs to be completely new endgame. that adds on to it. Like you're saying, it needs to be something that you can throw in and still do greater rifts if you chose to, but it needs to be something else you can do alongside of it. So.
Right. We're just speculating, chat. Okay. We're not saying that D3 is getting new content. We're just throwing hypotheticals out there. That's all we can do, right?
I don't care, man. I'd rather wait at this point. At this point, just give me D4, because I don't have confidence that they could add an expansion with endgame that would make the game significant enough to hold it over for years. And I think we were ready for new stuff, you know.
But even still, like for me, and maybe on my own island, but like Diablo 4 gets announced at BlizzCon, like it's good news. Am I super hyped? Not really, because it's like it's so far out there.
I'm gonna record your face, dude. You're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah!"
I'll be like, "Sweet, man, about fucking time." I guarantee you. But it's like when. The immediate question is when, and then if it's like a year and a half, it's like, well, fuck, cool. You know, it's like, what do we do now? So, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
maybe I'm the worst kind of person to go to
announcements. Like, you know, let's roll back. Let's analyze the competitor for a second.
Wait, we haven't even got over the patch notes.
No, we're gonna get there. Right. I'm just saying, GGG's big announcement is gonna be like the following week, right, or 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna talk about their big patch. How long do you think from the time that they say our big 2.0 or 4.0 or whatever? What is it? What big patch number?
4.0.
4.0. So when 4.0 hits, how long do you think you're waiting for 4.0?
Oh, they've been pretty open about that. They said it's like at least another year after.
Another year away? Yeah. Okay. All right. I was thinking that they're going to have, you know, Exile Con and then be like 4 months later.
Yeah, imagine being a PoE content creator and you never have to speculate. Like, oh yeah, we know because they told us. Like, great.
All right, let's talk about the notes though. So I am happy that we got new things. I'm a little disappointed that the way that they announced it. I feel like they could have put together like a 10-second hype trailer or 30-second hype trailer or something. Maybe.
What makes this different than in other PTR patches? Why is this so different for you?
I mean, we're new. I don't remember. I don't ever remember jonesing for new content as much as I am now. So when the new sets were originally announced back forever ago, I don't remember how they were announced. But to me, I just feel like at least a tweet with like pictures of them standing there in it would be like new sets for Diablo 3, and here's a picture. You can test them on the PTR. You know what I'm saying?
Probably still working on them.
No.
So that would be my guess.
What if they visually copy like another set?
We talked about that. Like, it was funny because I was in Bloodshed stream and I said, "Hey man, what are you most excited for?" And I shit you not, he said transmog. And I was like, wow. Like, I don't even think about that. Like, some people are so, one of the things that people are so excited for is like just new character appearances, which is fucking crazy to me, but I get it.
Yeah. So and what if they reuse models?
If they reuse models, people are gonna freak out. Although I will say, so I was in when Bloodshed was reading the patch notes, like Brandy was in the stream for like 4 hours, a developer was in the stream, and Brandy said the monk set, which is called like Patches of something. Yeah, Patterns of Justice. People are like, that doesn't really sound like a monk set. And she said, well, you'll understand when you see the transmog. So,
all right, so new sets then.
So it sounds like new appearance. But
all right, let's read these notes. Let's talk about it.
Sure. So right out of the gate, we see the seasonal theme for next season, which is Season of Eternal Conflict. Okay. Which a lot of people are kind of attributing to copying the Rampage League from PoE. So this basically what this boils down to is it's a kill streak league. So we get stacks of damage and movement speed for every kill, up to a maximum of 1,000, which will give us a total of 50% movement and 100% damage. And at certain kill thresholds, we get a thing that happens, basically.
So do you think that this thing is going to trigger when you hit that milestone, or do you think the thing is going to trigger when it falls off and it's then going to hit the milestone? This is something that I was talking about, and
Yeah.
I want it to trigger when you hit it. I think it's going to trigger when it fades, is what I'm afraid of.
Pretty sure Brandy cleared that up as well. I think it happens when it's hit, so not when it falls off.
Okay. So as soon as you hit 100, you get that.
Yeah.
150, you get that.
Right.
That's cool.
Is it? Because you have no control. Zero control. So imagine you just killed, like, you're fighting this juggernaut, like, and you kill all his trash, and as soon as he dies, you trigger the kill effect, and there's like nothing around. I don't necessarily love that.
Well, we can talk about the league mechanic. Let's read it, and then we'll discuss how we feel.
Sure. So 15 kills, 5 massive energy twisters are unleashed, 30 kills, dark geysers form beneath your enemies, 50 kills, exploding chickens, seek and destroy, 100 kills, corpses rain from the sky, 150 kills, wide frost nova enemies, 200 kills, treasure chests fall from the sky, 300 kills, a ring of fire engulfs everything, 400 kills, meteors hail from above, 500 kills, angels descend upon the battlefield to fight for your cause, and 1,000 kills, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay, so immediately when I read this, I thought, well, they just took a skill from a lot of the classes and put it on the kill streak. The twisters, the twisters from Wizard, whatever the weapon is, causes the twisters, or
just the skill. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just the rune. The dark geysers, doesn't Witch Doctor have a thing that puts crap under their feet? I can't remember what that's
Monk,
from.
Like the stone pet or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The chickens, okay.
Yeah.
Witch Doctor stuff. Corpses from the sky, all right.
It's also Witch Doctor, Grasps of the Dead rune.
Nova is the wizard,
yeah.
Nova. Treasure chests from the
Realm of Greed.
Puzzle ring.
Yeah.
Greed encounter. The Ring of Fire, I'm assuming that's from the Hellfire Ring.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
The Hellfire Gem. No, I would say from the Hellfire Gem.
Well, the ring does the circle thing around you too, and then the gem also does the thing. So I don't know which. It could be probably either or. Meteors from above, just wizard meteor, and then the angels. Doesn't that happen in the campaign at some point? Angels
no, it's from the. I guarantee that's from that sword proc. That sword that no one uses.
Right. Yeah. And then 1,000.
Yeah. So I actually have a theory on this. So again, like we're kind of alluding to right now, is all this stuff is stuff that already exists in the game. Like they haven't made anything new. Mm-hmm. So originally I was like, oh, Diablo's gonna summon 1,000. Like that's the first thing that popped in my head. Like Diablo gets summoned and fights for you or something. But then I thought about it some more, and I guarantee you, I would almost put money on this. When you're playing a campaign, Tyrael, or not Tyrael, sorry. What's his fucking name? Imperius comes down, and he smashes everything. I bet that's what it is.
You think that's it?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I went really generic. I thought you're just gonna get like a mini conduit.
Maybe.
But the Imperius thing is definitely cooler. I hope that's Imperius. I mean, that's cool, right?
I don't know. Sure.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm with you. So I saw it and I'm like, cool. They're definitely trying things. It's definitely in the realm of the limited access the coders have. Like these guys seem to be limited into like how much they can actually code the game, right?
Yeah.
And so they're taking the skills that are already there and they're finding ways to manipulate and reuse those assets.
You're lagging a bit, so I'm trying to help.
Yeah. So hopefully that is what it is. Like we're gonna get a lot of abilities added back that we've already seen in various ways, and
yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, and one of the things I kind of reinforced with this in the video that I already made is like this is fun, right? Like this is a fun idea. But like what we've been alluding to is it's not adding depth or layers to the game. It's just like a fun mechanic. It reminds me of those posts that we've been reading on the podcast over the past few weeks where people are like, I've got my goblin pack, and here's my video.
Yeah.
Like I could see that being the same thing. Like I hit my 400 kill thing for the first time, and here's the video of me getting meteors and like people popping out.
it intrinsically it's cool to like see it, but ultimately as a season mechanic, is it gonna change the way I play? I don't know. I don't have control over it. I have no control
Right.
to an extent over when I'm gonna get that streak. It's not like I can time that streak and have it drop on the boss. It's not like it's an ability I can store and use. It's gonna fall off. I'm gonna get super frustrated at that. We'll see how it plays. Is it cool? Sure. I think it's cool. And I'm excited to see I'm glad they didn't tell us what the 1000 is.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it's a smart play. Yeah.
But ultimately, is it something that I'm going to be like, dude, season 19 buff was this shit? Like, probably not. You know? Like, it's all right. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I feel the same. Moving on.
Yeah.
We actually get kind of, to the actual changes themselves. So first we'll start with the 2 new sets. Aegis of Valor is a new Crusader set, which seems to be a Fist of Heavens themed set, which is fantastic. One of the things I think we both hope for from the new Crusader set.
Yeah.
Was a Fist of Heavens set.
I think a lot of people wanted Fist of Heavens. I didn't really have a preference. I just wanted something new. So I actually logged in today and played around with Fist of Heavens a little bit just to refresh my memory on the runes and what they do.
Sure.
Because I haven't played it in a long time, or ever, maybe even, I don't know. I'm trying to think of, so if you haven't used Fist of Heavens before on a Crusader, what it does is think about a lightning bolt coming from the sky. It's like you cast, and a lightning bolt rains down on the sky where you cast it, and then there's like a circle area of effect, and little miniature lightning bolts come out in a circle from that. Depending on what rune you pick, it changes it a little bit, but basically it's the same thing. One of the runes has it shoot more like a missile versus a lightning bolt from the sky. Other than that, though, that's really what it is. It's kind of a slow casting ability.
Yep.
And some of the synergies that this set has. So again, it's another slow set. And Crusader, I feel, is plagued with Condemn is slow. Invoker is kind of slow. Like, they all can take advantage of Steed to move a little bit, but they don't have any like really super crazy fast movement. And I was kind of hoping to see some kind of movement in this a little bit. I feel like this is going to play slow, and it's going to be like gather trash, gather trash, gather trash. Okay, I got a big group of trash. Now let me Fist of Heavens it all down, because each one's going to have a chance to proc another one. You know what I mean? It's going to be a trash clearing set, it feels like, just by looking at the notes. But we'll see how it plays. But that says, so the 2-piece bonus says, charge bolts from Fist of Heavens has a chance to cast another Fist of Heavens. And if you guys are watching live on the stream, Fluff has it up, and he's casting it right now. So you guys can kind of see the lightning bolts, how they drop, and they kind of spiral out. So each one of those little bolts that spirals out has a chance to cast another one. Yep. Now, it doesn't say it has to hit something, though. I'm assuming the charge bolts have a chance to cast another one when it hits something, but it doesn't say. And then the 4-piece bonus says, hitting with Fist of the Heavens reduces damage taken by 1% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 50 times. This seems brutal to me, because 5 seconds isn't that long. Crusader can't move that fast, and the cast animation is super slow, and it uses a lot of wrath. So it seems like it could be really easy for those stacks to drop off. I really hate to see the damage reductions on such a short cooldown. That really makes me think you're going to have to crawl through the dungeon or always find something.
I think it'll be pretty fast, because you're going to be using a one-hander. There's also a one-hander passive that gives you 15% attack speed. I think one of the goals will probably be to use Accurate's Champion with Hasteful, which gives you another 15% attack speed. So I actually kind of feel like you'll be able to speed it up. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until Thursday. But I don't think it'll be that bad. Yeah, but I think the 5 seconds might be a little brutal, because you're going to have to stop and cast.
So for one, and here's my beef with the 5 seconds. One, you have to stack it 50 times. Now, if these things are like let's say that the proc rate from the bolts is like 100%, then, or like, 95% or something crazy, then maybe you get those 50 stacks really fast. But if you don't, and you have to stack up to 50, and you got like switching levels, your stacks are gone with 5 seconds. Like, unless you have mob like right at the entrance to the next level, you're going to be struggling, I think, to keep those stacks rolling to the next level.
Well, you got to think about it.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so Fist of Heavens, for you guys who don't know, calls forth a pillar of lightning from the heavens. The explosion deals 545% weapon damage of lightning to anything within 8 yards. The explosion creates 6 piercing charged bolts that arc outward and deal 255% weapon damage with lightning. So those 6 charged bolts all have a chance to cast another Fist of Heavens. So,
and do those bolts have a chance to cast another Fist of Heavens?
Don't know.
Can you proc on the proc?
I guess I would assume no, because
I would assume no too.
In Diablo can you proc off a proc. So potentially you have like 6 being created from 1, plus with Dark Light they already cast twice. So you potentially in a perfect world you would get, like 12 from 1 cast. So I think it's actually, I at first read it the same way. Like, wow, if you die and then you have to like cast like 15 times to get up to max stacks again, that's going to suck. But I think this will go up. I think the AoE potential of this is a lot higher than people are expecting, but
yeah, I agree. It looks like it could be super powerful. I just think the 5 seconds is a little bit on the short side, and hopefully we'll test it and it feels good. But if not, like, I'm not a fan of the ones that have such short timers.
Yeah.
Because like transitioning level, you should be able to transition a level and not lose your stacks.
Exactly, and I think that's
it doesn't have to be a perfect level.
You look at this, the same thing for the seasonal buff. What happens when you have to zone? What happens when you get spider caverns and you have to walk down a hallway with nothing to kill? Like, that sucks. You're adding more map RNG into Diablo, which already has a ton of map RNG. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't like that.
It's gonna make those battlefields maps even better. And then the 6-piece bonus is just increase the damage of Fist of Heavens by 10,000%. So it's gonna hit like a Mack truck.
Yeah, here's a couple things that I deduced from this. So one, the damage, if you add up all the damage modifiers of like Fist of Heavens versus something like Impale, it's like it's a tiny fraction of what Impale's damage modifiers are. So it's really gonna have to do a lot of AoE, I feel like, to even remotely compare. And that leaves it maybe in the same boat as like something like Blood Nova, where it's like insane at doing AoE, but single target's just terrible. And there's nothing on the set, because the set is very simplistic in nature. Yeah. It's just Fist of Heavens, Fist of Heavens, Fist of Heavens on all the bonuses. I think there's a lot of missed opportunity here for using other skills and mobility, like you touched on.
Yep.
Like, there's no mobility on the class set. There's nothing that helps you move through the rift faster. So yeah, I don't like that. And I think there's a huge opportunity here. Like, there's Heaven's Fury, like, which comes down from the sky. Like, why could that not be on the set? You could maybe buff Holy and like have Myrne be worked in, like being encouraged maybe to be used in the set, which would be kind of unique. Like a set being encouraging you to use a legendary gem could be kind of fun. You could do, Falling Sword, because again, it comes from the sky. Like, again, perfect opportunity. I know it's used in another set, but it's kind of just there in that other set, where this one it would feel like meaningful maybe. But
yeah, like you could have had, any of those other abilities give you the damage reduction.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
Like what's the one where you just teleport in the air and then drop down?
That's Falling Sword. Yeah.
Falling Sword. Yeah. So just Falling Sword has the cooldown's like, what's the cooldown on that? Like 15 seconds or something? 20 seconds? With cooldown reduction,
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. So like that could have been awesome, man. Just like, make yourself have to get some cooldown in order to keep 100% uptime on your damage reduction. And then use your Falling Sword to keep your damage reduction up. But like I said, I'm not trying to knock the sets. I'm glad we got new sets.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to play with. I hope that the damage reduction thing isn't like super unmanageable, switching levels and at weird hallways and things like that. That could really suck. Hopefully they maybe change the hitting to just casting Fist of the Heavens, or they increase the timer a little bit. But we'll play it and see what the feedback comes into. So Um,
But yeah. And so
we got some monk juice.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people might be kind of disappointed with this because I think it'll trigger or fool a lot of people. So at first glance, you read this and you're like, oh, cool, a sweeping wind, or not, sorry, Tempest Rush set. But it's not. So 2-piece bonus, sweeping wind gains effective every rune. We see this a lot on 2-piece bonuses. 4-piece bonus, each enemy within sweeping wind range increases your movement speed by 5%, stacking up to 10 times.
Okay.
Which, immediately strikes me as like, where's the damage mitigation? Maybe they feel like it doesn't need it, but it still strikes me as odd.
The shoulders.
Yeah. 6-piece bonus, attacking with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Wind is active temporarily increases the size of Sweeping Wind after hitting 30 times within a short period. Sweeping Wind damage is increased by 10,000%.
All right, the wording on this is horrid. Let's analyze this.
Sure.
So first off, I noticed the same thing that you did. There's no damage reduction on this set. I'm assuming they want you to use like either the Cyclone Shoulders or what up? Is that it? Like I know this.
I think there's something that gives you mitigation
like 50
on amount of Sweeping Wind stacks you have. I thought.
Okay, yeah. There's definitely some Sweeping Wind damage reduction. I remember. I just haven't played long enough to remember exactly what it was. But you're gonna have to use that item, I'm assuming. And then, all right, attacking with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Wind is active will temporarily increase the size of Sweeping Wind after hitting over 30 times in a short period. So if you hit 30 times in a short period with Tempest Rush, your Sweeping Wind size expands. For how long?
Doesn't say. Short period.
It doesn't, that's how I read it as working. Is that what you took too? Tempest Rush attacks trigger the Sweeping Wind to get bigger.
Yes, but it kind of makes, the way it's worded, it makes it sound like Sweeping Wind could also trigger itself as a hit.
I don't know. So you know what I instantly thought of when I saw this though?
Blazemancer.
Cyclone from PoE.
Or Blade Flurry actually would be the better. Blade Flurry would be. It's just like a thing that spins around you and kills stuff.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I see the entire screen because I don't play a lot of PoE, but that season of Cyclone
Blade Vortex. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the Cyclone season that I saw last, it was like the entire screen was filled up with spinny shit on PoE, and everything was dead. And I'm thinking like, or are they going to make Sweeping Wind take up the entire screen? I would kind of like that for a lazy build, like a T16 build.
Yeah, people love their lazy builds. I mean, I saw Blazemancer 100% because it's kind of like the opposite, but the same. Mm-hmm. It's like you try to increase your curse range to suck everything to get hit by your Bone NATO. This is just increasing your Bone NATO size so that you can walk and kill everything. Which is a super passive play style that I don't necessarily love, but I know people do love. So I'm for it, I guess. It's definitely more interesting. There's more going on here in this set than there is in the Fist of Heaven set, right? There's more interaction.
Yeah. Fist of Heavens is pretty straight up. I mean, and I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to have to figure this out. Like, this is all Fist of Heavens. Cool. I'm going to throw that on my bar, and it's going to be a good time.
Right, and some people are arguing like, well, it's going to give you freedom to do whatever else you want. But at the same, I don't know.
It'll give you freedom to cast Fist of Heavens a lot.
Freedom to cast Fist of Heavens a lot. And also like fill up your bar with cooldowns. And then you're just like a Condemned Crusader that casts Fist of Heavens instead.
Yeah.
So
you're going to be like, how can I get Condemned to get a cons with this? It's going to be this trick. Like, can I match these pieces together?
Sure. So. And that's the interesting thing here as well is we don't know what slots they're going into. And that's a huge piece of information to have. And we still don't know.
The 2-piece for this monk set, Sweeping Wind gets the effect of every rune. Like,
boring.
That to me is like instantly like, well, what can I put this 2-piece with? Can I put it with Wave of Light? Can I put it with Lashing Tail Kick? Can I put it with like? It's a lot of runes. It's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of free. It's a lot of damage reduction. It's a lot of free spirit. It's a lot of free there's So it could be interesting just to see what you throw.
I do remember one of the Sweeping Winds actually looking pretty cool back in the day when it was like more powerful. It used to be a thing, I think, forever ago. Was the Sweeping Wind build, But then they get supporting items. Dark Light
Yeah.
gets a buff. It's a 100% chance to cast twice now instead of 60%. And it gets a damage mod, which is absolutely needed. I still don't, again, unless this AoE thing procs like crazy, I don't see how this damage mod's enough between the set and this alone, but we'll see.
Yep.
And then Eye of the Storm. This is kind of weird to me. When Sweeping Wind hits exactly one enemy, the damage is increased by 100%. And so between reading that and the set itself, I immediately like, okay, they want this to be a speed farm.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's a lot of... Like, first off, you have to use an item to get the 100%. So, you're using up a slot, your head slot for the Eye of Storm. Yeah. Which makes me think that there's not going to be a head slot on this set. I hope, maybe.
Sure.
I don't know. But yeah, man, it's, I don't know. We'll see.
Sure.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a speed farm build. I don't think this is going to be the end game push build, I'm
trying to proc it, but I can't. I haven't played this monk in 2 years. But I remember one of the runes looking very, very cool. But yeah. To me, that just read like, okay, they want this, which is kind of weird to me because I think like Monk already does very well inside of Torment farming. So
yeah,
I hope
maybe it'll play different than we were reading it on paper, though. And
100%.
And then and like Vengeful Wind got changed a little bit too. Increases the number of maximum stat count of Sweeping Wind. It used to be 6 to 7, and they just a flat 10 now. So I'm assuming you can't get a shitty rolled primal or not primal ancient, because how many ancients have you gotten where it's like perfect? It's like 6. You're like, well, this is garbage. And then they also added a new legendary power, increases the damage of Sweeping Wind by 250 to 300%. So, okay, guaranteed to use.
I want to say that 10 stacks on Vengeful Wind was already a thing once, and then they brought it back on one of the PTRs.
Well, can't you get so many stacks from runes and other things? I thought 10 is like where you sit at now with the item.
Who knows? Neither of us know. So
I haven't played Monk. I haven't played
but we'll be testing. Yeah,
a lot lately.
But yeah, I think this has implications elsewhere because Sweeping Wind stacks help other things. So I think this could be a bigger change than people might think.
Yep.
And then we'll skip this and just go into the barb changes first because we were talking about buffs and changes first.
Okay.
Wrath of the Wastes, 6-piece bonus. The damage bonus now applies to Rend.
Okay, hold on. When let me walk you through. I read this on stream for the first time.
Okay.
Right? Because I read the notes in the drive-through. I just wanted to see the new sets, so I read the new sets, and I was like, all right. Cool, and I closed it. And then last night I was playing World of Warcraft. I was playing some classic, and people kept talking about. I'm like, all right, let's pull the notes up. We read through the notes, and so I get to this line, and it says Wrath of the Waste, 6-piece bonus damage now applies to Rend. And I lost it. I was like, dude, I fucking hate that this set uses Rend. I hate it. And I was like, this is garbage. Can't stand it. And then I read the next piece. Go ahead. What's that next one?
Next piece increases the damage of Rend by up to 200%, which is a new belt lamentation, which, as you guys know, is the one that has the Rend stacked twice on the enemy.
Okay, so I'm like, great, more Rend damage. This is the dumbest shit. Why are they buffing Rend? I was, again, going on a little rant.
Sure.
And then I got to the next piece.
Ambo's Pride, which is insane. Attacking with Whirlwind applies Rend, and the total damage of Rend is dealt over 1 second.
Yeah. And then I redacted everything else I said about Rend. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. Thank you. So Ambo's Pride, which if you don't know, is a one-handed mighty weapon. It's a sword that's going to... So I'm not sure how to work this out because I'm assuming you're still probably going to want to use the Bolkathos weapon. So this is probably going to take your cube slot. But... this thing is going to apply Rend and deal the damage over 1 second. So now your actual Whirlwind will hurt things, not the stupid-ass tornadoes.
I don't think you'll use...
That makes me so happy.
Bolkathos for pushing. Speed farming.
Not for pushing. Yeah, for speed farming is what I'm... instantly what I went to is speed farming. For pushing Whirlwind is still going to be like, let's see if we can lag our screen out. Can we kill the server?
Like a Furnace in the queue, maybe Echoing Fury and Embo's Pride on, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But yeah.
So it was funny, my thought process going through this. I'm like, God, why Rend? Please no. And then more Rend, and I was losing it. And then I read Ambos, and I'm like, oh shit, that's amazing. So I'm actually more excited about this than I am the other two sets. Is that wrong? I don't know.
No, I don't think that's wrong. I think the Barb got the most here. You know, I was really surprised by this. I think a lot of us content creators kind of expected Ren to be taken off of Waste.
I did.
And to see them kind of like double down on like, no, like fuck you guys, it belongs on the set, was like kind of crazy to me. But to me,
make it useful.
This is still like, weird because this is like okay. So Amble's Pride, attacking with Whirlwind implies Rend, and the total damage is dealt over 1 second. Mm-hmm. Why not just still take Rend off the set and just double the damage of like Whirlwind? Like, what's the difference? Right. I don't know.
Because Whirlwind can proc AoE damage and Rend can't. And so maybe the servers can't take that. I don't know. Because Whirlwind bar pushing already destroys the server, so maybe that's a way to combat that. I'm just guessing.
Sure. But and then to add to what you just said, so Whirlwind Barb does kill the servers. Adding anything else to the Whirlwind Barb is gonna just annihilate the servers.
Yeah, probably.
And a dot, nonetheless, which is more server intensive than anything.
But it only lasts for 1 second. Sure, it's a 1 second dot.
And Brainy said because it's been reduced to 1 second, it's less costly. But still, we're talking about adding a skill onto something that's already the most laggy build in the game.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. It's totally gonna fucking destroy the servers, man. The servers are gonna buckle. So
it's gonna be like day one, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And like 6 hours in the season when people get there, because Wrath of the Waste is the starter set, also, by the way.
Oh yes. It feels good.
So everyone's starting Barb next season. Everyone's getting the Whirlwind right away, and it's like all the servers are going to come down like 6 hours into the season.
Going to their knees. Yep. It's going to be like Fortnite. They're just going to put a twirly circle up for 2 days.
Apparently, Ren can proc area damage. SVR tested it last night. That's fucking huge. Oh God.
Well, get the fire extinguishers ready.
Yeah. Those hamsters, back them up. Oh man.
Done.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's actually crazy.
That's super crazy. So.
But yeah. So.
And then Remorseless. Is another new thing.
This one kind of took me by surprise as well. While both Wrath of the Berserker and Call of the Ancients are active, Hammer of the Ancient deals up to 250% increased damage. Mm-hmm. Which.
So they're buffing Hammer of the Ancients?
Yeah, more.
I mean,
to me, I read this and you think, okay, Wrath of Berserker, Call of the Ancients, this is meant to be more with IK,
right?
Maybe, because LOD, you'd have to drop one of your other useful skills to run. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how this is going to fit in. I haven't really messed with Hammer in a long time, especially on like an IK set or. I don't know what weapons they're using to give something up to get Remorseless, but they're gonna have choices to make. But I'm more excited.
LOD,
about
I think
Whirlwind.
LOD Hoda doesn't really have anything solid in one of the hands.
Okay, so that would make sense.
Yeah. Fjord Cutter, which, as you guys know, let's take a moment of silence. For its old effect, you are surrounded by a chilling aura when attacking. That'll be sincerely missed. Really? One of the most useful items in the game.
I used it all the time.
Oh yeah,
it was the coolest transmog effect ever.
Yeah, before you could proc Bane of the Trapped off Bane of the Trapped. It's great. Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. The new Legendary Power says Seismic Slaying attack 50% faster and also deals up to 150% increased damage against slowed or chilled enemies. So
that's going to stack really nice with what gem? What gem did we never use? Oh, Bane of the Trapped.
Yeah.
Slam can. There were some slam builds before Hoda was a thing, or it's kind of like
It's an option.
slightly under it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's cool. Like maybe you could do some Lod, Fjord Cutter builds. Yes.
Sure. I kind of see this like as they're trying to maybe introduce a different play style from a few seasons ago because of Fury of the Ancients. So Fury Ancients is the shoulders that make your Ancients give you Fury when they attack. And they made them attack 100% faster. So it's going to give you more Fury. So to me, these 3 changes plus the Brace of Destruction now it hits 10 instead of 5. They want you to like summon the pets and they just fill up your Fury and you're just like standing back and slam or spamming Seismic
Just
Slam.
smash it, group stuff up and smash.
I could see that.
Yeah.
What should be a different playstyle for the Barb? Like a little bit of range, proximity eyes,
and again the Fury of the Ancient Shoulders. They changed that. What do they do? The Call of the Ancients gains the effect of the Ancient's Fury rune, and your Ancients attack 100% faster.
So you get more. So
they've doubled their attack speed.
Right.
So.
But obviously, to no end of doing damage. It's just to get more Fury faster.
Right. Yeah. It's just to let you just spam.
Right. So we'll see how that plays out. Hopefully
this next change. Do you want to?
Let's read the other one. Let's read the other nerf first, okay?
Okay, I'll read the other.
Just chill out. Chill out.
Okay.
So they nerfed Chantoto's Resolve, which is surprising. Again, as I said before, like it's been years, like literally years since Blizzard nerfed something for doing too much damage. The only time Blizzard's nerfed anything in the past couple of years has been because mechanically it was broken. So this is the first time we've seen a nerf just to damage.
I don't know why Chantoto's isn't that strong.
But let's look at the leaderboard real quick. What's it doing?
Totally being sarcastic.
I know, but I just want to like.
It's got to be like 10 levels higher than everything.
138 solo.
Okay, and comparison. What are we at? Like, what's Necro? Let's just look.
No, we can't look at Necro because Necro's using thorns. Let's talk about a class that's pretty good right now. I mean, like Witch Doctor, I guess. 128 Witch Doctor. TH is 126. Crusader's 128.
So a solid 10 levels.
Yeah, Monk 127. And Barb, of course, can be a couple lower, 126. But Necro's at a solid 135. But
that must have been the most engaging 15 minutes of somebody's life to get that run.
So they scaled it back. I think you would agree this will probably in no way hit the set that hard. It'll just maybe bring it.
They knocked it back in line. They probably did an equivalent of 7 greater rifts or something.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't neuter it.
It'll still be super powerful. So,
right.
But again, if you guys are big Wizard players, get on PTR and test it. So
it's been on top for two seasons. So
yeah,
it's fine.
We talked about it before too. It's like if you want to leave it powerful and then just like scale it back, like fine, do it. But it goes back to Brandy's argument. It's like, well, there's going to be people that didn't play this season, and they're going to remember like 2 seasons ago, and then they're come back and they're going to be less powerful. And that's going to feel bad for them, but the greater good.
It's okay.
And then the best thing I've read from Diablo, and gosh, I can't remember. I don't even know how long. Bone Ringer is now capped at 60 stacks. So goodbye, solo Necro Thorns.
Can we get a moment of silence?
No.
For the Thorns Necro?
Fuck you, Thorns.
All right, so what do you think this is going to do to the 150 pushes, the 4-mans?
I don't think it kills it. I think there's been some sentiment around that. I don't think that. I think it'll still maybe even be the RGK. Because, and that speaks to how few single target damage builds there are. So I still think, I guess, from what people are saying, people doing the math, is that it still could be better than like
Impale
or something like that. Like some of the other ideas you might go to immediately after Thorns. But for solo, it 1000% kills the build, which is great. I think this is a good compromise. I still don't love Thorns even really being a thing for the Necro. I don't like that as the meta for, if it stays the meta for single target damage. I think that it's not good, but yeah. They go on to say it's not an engaging style of gameplay. I said that. I fucking said that in my forum post. So maybe they're actually starting to listen to me. Who knows? And it's just that it's not what we don't want that experience to be the best way to play the Necro, which unfortunately means the best way to play the Necro now is LOD Singularity Mage. It'll be the top build now, which I will say is definitely a more ironed out build than Thorns, but it's definitely not the most fun. So hopefully with the next upcoming seasons, whenever the Necro gets touched, so maybe some of my ideas come forward. We'll see.
Necro's fine where it's at. It's never going to get touched.
Bro,
so.
I will fucking cut you.
Nobody wants to touch a Necro,
But that, to touch on that, like, how do you feel about, only 3 classes getting love?
If they were to rotate the 3 classes every single week, or not every week, every single season, that's okay. If you kind of know what to expect, it would have been nice to see other things like Witch Doctor. Okay, so I played Witch Doctor this season, what little season I played, and I just did not enjoy the gameplay. And other people out there probably still love Witch Doctor, don't get me wrong.
For your 4 days, yeah.
Yeah, but it was, that's part of the reason. I was like, man, I invested my stuff in this Witch Doctor, and it's not fun. I don't like it, So I would like to see some of the sets. Like, we don't have all the sets. We don't know what they're doing. But I really hope that they get some different play styles out of all the classes to potentially let us experience new things that we haven't so far in the game, But, it's hard to say. I wish I would have seen more in this PTR, but we're getting the new sets to play with. So I'm going to try not to complain. Barb is one of my all-time favorite classes, and Whirlwind got juiced. That makes me excited. There's Hoda and Seismic Slam to play with. So I'm happy, So
I think that these are the easiest 2 to tackle first. I think that Fist of Heavens was a very clear choice for Crusader. Yeah. I am still surprised that the new Monk set isn't just a Tempest Rush set. The focus on Sweeping Wind again definitely surprised me. But it is, it's going to use Tempest Rush. So, I think that was a very clear pick. And that's really the only thing that's not utilized on the Monk, if you really look at the Monk and examine the Monk.
Yeah. It is weird. That set doesn't excite me, but it's usually those are the ones I'll end up grabbing. Like, they could be something that I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what we get. I hope it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see how big the Sweeping Wind grows, and I'm interested to see how you can maintain that growth. How does that mechanic work? Because it's worded very poorly. So.
Yeah. But, Blizzard usually does a pretty good job. At least they have the past couple PTRs. Be like, hey, this wording is kind of effed. Can you fix it?
Yeah. And once we play it for a second, we'll be able to figure it out. I'm like, okay, this is how it works.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, for sure.
Blighter got nerfed a little bit or changed, I guess, too.
Yeah, I think that's to reflect the Thorns nerf. He was the one that procced it the best.
Yeah. And really, that's it.
There's quality of life. Quality of life.
They fixed squirts.
Yeah. Fixed squirts, so shields aren't ignored.
Quality of life stuff. We didn't get a lot this time.
We got 2, kind of.
Well, the squirts.
No, that's a bug fix. So quality of life. One is we got Legacy of Dreams. The gem is now more likely to drop from a Greater Rift Guardian. So that,
I mean, you're going to get it eventually anyways.
I know, but early season, it's a good one to get. It's a small, I'm just being honest. It's a small quality of life. And then the other one that is a significant quality of life is Greater Rift Keystones are now subject to vacuum pickup.
Oh, yeah. So you can't not pick them up.
Right.
Can we get every...
Stop it. They're never going to do that.
They're not going to do it. I mean, this opened the door, though. We know mechanically it can exist. You know?
Gosh. You're going to be like, oh, finally we got everything on auto pickup. Can the game just play for me?
I know. Dude, is there like an autoplay button?
You're killing me.
Patch notes.
But yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it.
Pretty cool. I mean, there's some stuff, man.
There's some stuff.
I was kind of Debbie Downer at the way they released it, but we are getting new things, and it's super cool. And I should stop bitching and be excited for it.
Right.
I feel like they should have did it at BlizzCon. It's 2 weeks away, but I'm happy. I mean, we get to play it Thursday. So
I've tried to drive that home as well. We know that Diablo's with classic games now. And classic games has 1,000% done more for Diablo than the Diablo team did. Right? Yeah. So I don't want to undermine them by like kind of shitting on anything that they've done. I like what they're doing. I like that they're adding content to the game that I love. It's just maybe, we're just expressing how it's maybe not the direction we'd like to see it go. And we're just reacting to reading patch notes. So I hope people don't take it as it's just us being toxic, because it's not. And we're just.
Yeah, I just,
dissecting patch notes.
I hope to get some kind of review. Like, BlizzCon's so full of fucking Diablo stuff that they can't put it on the schedule. That's what it was. That's my take. It's got to be what it is. So.
Yeah, fingers crossed, man.
Let's hope. Yeah, let's hope.
Or they heard, hey, Lord Fluffy's coming to BlizzCon. We can't announce the new Necro set. We'll have him test it at BlizzCon.
Yeah, they should have put the Necro set on there. So they
double thorns.
Yeah, you get nothing. Well, thorns. We nerfed Bone Ringer, but we developed this really cool thorn set for RGK. Yeah, that's kind of all the patch notes we had. Let's jump into we've been going for a little bit. Let's just go ahead and hit up the PoE.
Okay.
PoE is already dropping the next update.
Yeah. So PoE gave a kind of a short synopsis of what you can expect from the next expansion. Now, I don't necessarily follow PoE. I do now, right? Like I have since I'd say the past 6 to 9 months. I followed pretty heavily.
Yeah. Before that, for about a year.
Yeah. Before that, I didn't follow that much, and so I didn't know about this like subliminal. I guess they do like a small. I say this in quotes. A small expansion, and then like kind of a medium, and then like a larger of the, like in their cycle. So I guess we're about to hit the larger one. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding? Like, you guys they're crazy over there, man. Like, I don't want to just like take away from what we just read from Diablo, but like, what in the world do they do over there? Are these like a bunch of dudes on cocaine writing code 24/7? I don't understand.
That Kotaku article is going to come out and it'll be like, they beat us and wouldn't let us sleep.
They literally made us take meth. Dude, it's insane. So
let's not get over all. Did you have highlights, I guess, of the big points?
Yeah, so they said that they're adding like stuff to the base game, like new content to the base game, which doesn't happen a lot.
Like campaign,
maybe, or like outside of the the season mechanic, if you will.
Cool, awesome.
And of course, new stuff, a bunch of new stuff. They're focusing some of the bow and arrow type stuff. This particular patch, which I think a lot of players wanted.
They have a release date in there too, which is pretty awesome. It's less than 2 months away.
Yeah, 3.9 Saturday, December 7th. Which, yeah, it's the week I get back. So
right in time for that Christmas money.
Yeah,
get
those V-Bucks. Wait, whatever they're called.
What do they call their currency?
I don't know.
I was trying to think of it. I can't think of. I don't remember. I know I had to use like some fishy website to buy it. I'm like, this is sketch.
It's just a New Zealand website, bro. What do you mean?
No, it's like, man.
It's just points. They're just called points.
I don't know, man. It was like, pay with this. No, don't dox yourself.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, did you want to hit any more of that? Or are you good?
No, that's pretty much that.
Okay. This week's episode of Fluff Hates is brought to you by. Go ahead, Fluff.
Oh, this kind of ties into the Hong Kong thing, right? Mm-hmm. So Blizzard has basically taken a stance on, I don't want to say human rights, but not being, they're shrouding it behind like, oh, we don't want to be political. But even though they're being political by like kind of stopping this like human rights movement amongst their company, right? Yeah. And this reminds me of indirectly of, I don't know if you remember this, but Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
So Chick-fil-A, some of their higher ups are very anti-gay, and they have been vocal about that in the past. And so much so that like I won't ever go to Chick-fil-A, right? And to me, that fucking sucks because I hear and I remember before this happened, delicious. It was very good food, like for a fast food joint. But it's so stupid to me when so it sucks to imagine a world where it's like, well, what do you want to eat tonight, honey? Well, we could have Pizza Hut. No, they hate black people. Okay, well, how about Chick-fil-A? No, they hate gays. Like, oh, well, let's play a Blizzard game. No, they don't believe in human rights. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to live in that world. So, if you're a corporation, just keep your stupid mouth shut, man.
Just shut up. It's this, and like I said, I talked to you earlier with my brother saying he was going to cancel his WoW account because of this stuff. And we got into a whole conversation, man. It was through text messages, but we had this, super long conversation about it. And it's like, part of me feels like a dick for just turning a blind eye to all these things. Especially the more you think about it, right? Because I'm like, dude, that cell phone that you're texting me on was probably made through like forced slave labor, right?
Yeah.
And there's like so many things that you can get into, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna stop using my phone though, but I guarantee if I dig, it was,
Yeah, sure Apple had that thing where like they turned some like river like black or something like in China.
There's so much shit, man. And then there's like, oh no, we have like, look, our workplace is so nice. And then like it comes out that like, no, that was bullshit. Like they got like 6 families living in a 1-bedroom house, and so it is what it is. I don't know, but it's a really moral line you have to walk of how much am I going to protest and like stand up for what I believe, and how much is convenience in my life worth more. It's this weird thing, man, that you have to morally deal with. And I think we're just so used to turning a blind eye to it that when it's in your face, it's like, oh shit, what do I do now? Like I have to make a choice.
Yeah, it definitely sucks for sure.
Yep. So
that's my fluff.
That's hates. It. That's what Fluff hates. Let's get into some Twitter questions.
Yeah.
If you guys want to submit your questions to the podcast, you can tweet at myself or at Lord Fluffy, or join our Discords, and you can at the new meta section. We both have new meta sections where you can drop your questions.
Those are definitely the best 2 ways. Yep. I see some comments sometimes in the YouTube, and if I don't copy it right then and there, it just gets lost. Yep. And like I see other comments. So
Twitter is the best. Go follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, you go follow us on Twitter, guys. Come on.
Follow us on Twitter. Yeah.
Twice.
Big Chief 888 says, with D3 taking PoE's Rampage League mechanics for next season, do you think that more borrowing, in quotes, from PoE's endgame will happen in the future?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack from that kind of loaded question. I think it's a little silly to say that like it's a kill streak mechanic. So like we all stole this from like first person shooter. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know that this.
There's been kill streaks in D3 since it was conceived. So they're just expanded. Wasn't there kill streaks like for killing mobs?
I don't remember.
Or was
someone in YouTube just correct us? But yeah, to me that's a little like I'm all. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for games stealing content from each other. Like I would love for Diablo to steal things from PoE 1000%. I just don't know that this is that.
What do we care as consumers?
It's more content.
Consumers, why do we care? Like you're going to get a better game if they steal a great idea.
Sure.
Now, if you work for Blizzard or you work for GGG, get pissed off. I get it.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Sure.
But as a consumer, you should be like, dude, that's a great idea. Hell yeah, I want to play that.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah.
My answer is I hope yes. I hope they steal their good mechanics. You know?
Yes. I agree. I would love to see them steal the end game stuff from PoE and not the Rampage League, which is not even still in the game because it wasn't that good.
Right. Onion says, do you think that other class sets are developed? If so, why piecemeal the sets?
You know, I kind of forgot to touch on this. I don't think that the other sets are developed. I think, again, that Crusader and Monk were the easy picks. They didn't have a lot of options of where they could go. So I would say no, definitely not. And based on how simplistic these sets are, especially the Fist of Heaven set, I think that these were very slapdash together. I'd be very surprised if these numbers didn't change drastically in the week on PTR.
Do you think that we're not how long do you think until we get our next wave of 2 sets? I feel like we're gonna get 2-2-2 is how they're gonna do it out until all the classes.
I think it'd be 2-2-2-1. It's 7.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Necro will be last.
Yeah, probably.
100%. That'll be the single out one.
Yeah, they're trying to starve me out of Diablo.
Well, not even that. Not even that. I assume that there are more people that just own Reaper of Souls and not Necro.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
They're going to appeal to
it makes sense.
Everybody's got the other classes. Yeah. I don't know, man. BlizzCon's going to tell us everything. If we don't get all the sets dropped at BlizzCon, then I think 100% they're just not done. They're not even developed.
I think this sets the tone. I think this is saying, hey, expect 2 every season.
I agree. I think it's going to be 2 per season, and it's going to be over the course of a year to stall time until D4 drops.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. Kirei says, so to follow up on a question from the last podcast, what if Wyatt comes out with his phone and asks everyone to download Diablo Immortal for free? Then wham, it isn't just DI, but there's a D4 trailer on your phone. He puts it on a big screen with gameplay footage. Is that a sneaky way to get people to download DI?
Well, if they're going to show it on the big screen, I'd be like, well, I'll just watch it up there. Thanks.
Yeah. No, they're not going to lie.
That would be terrible, though. Can you imagine if he came out and said, hey, let's all watch the trailer on your phone? Like, how stupid.
What if they did this? What if they said everybody that gets Diablo Immortal, whether it's free or paid, let's assume Diablo Immortal is like $5. Okay. Everybody that buys Diablo Immortal gets beta access to D4.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck. I might have just gave him an idea. I'm sorry. Please don't do that shit. Please don't do that.
Do you work for Blizzard? Do you work for Activision, bro?
Okay, but let's think about if they did that. I mean, fuck, I'm buying DI for sure if I get D4 beta access. You know what I mean?
The first 1,000 people. So just like,
oh my god,
Zerg. Oh man, that'd be the worst.
Crazy.
Okay, so say they come out and say, okay, here's the Diablo 4 trailer, and you can download Diablo Immortal, and like there's an additional like behind the scenes if you download the app.
Yeah,
I could see him doing that.
I think there will be something to entice you to try DI.
Do you think they'll tie in DI to D4 at all?
It's supposed to take place between D2 and D3.
Right, but say you get like,
so
I don't know, you're encouraged to play DI because in some way it impacts your DE4.
Let's just retract what I said about having to buy DI. Let's just say if it's free and if you get it, then you get beta access. Like just a way to entice you to try Diablo Immortal. Yeah, I think they will. I think they'd be smart if they did, you know? Because I think there are a lot of people that wouldn't try it, but may try it and be like, you know what, this isn't that bad. It's okay. I'll play it. I'll keep it, you know? I don't know. Gettert says, is Blizzard rushing these sets? From what I've seen so far, they have very simple mechanics and modifiers.
Yeah, this does feel rushed. I think, again, these are the two easiest picks to do first in my eyes. And
does it feel rushed? Like, how long ago did we get the announcement we were getting new sets?
Was it like a month?
5 months ago?
5 months ago?
Yeah, you don't think?
Like 2, maybe?
You think? Okay.
I feel like it was this season we found out we're getting new sets.
It had to have been before this season. Before this season was.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We need a fact checker at all times in chat.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I would say that they have limited resources to make 7 sets. And you know, they're not going to be intricate because they have to get all 7 pumped out with limited resources and a small amount of time. You know, maybe they get 2 or 3 months per set to get them knocked out. Like, listen, they haven't even demoed the wings you get from the virtual ticket. So either the wings aren't done or they have Diablo 4 leakage in them. And I'm going to go with Diablo 4 leakage.
Let me ask you another hypothetical, you in chat. Okay, so Destiny 2, right? Powerful engrams, right? So like once a week, you do like a game of PvP or something, and you get a powerful engram, which helps your game.
Yeah.
What if Diablo Immortal, one of your weekly tasks in Diablo 4 was to like do a match-made game in Diablo Immortal to get a powerful engram in Diablo 4?
Oh man, why? You shouldn't even have said that, dude. It's gonna be a thing now. This is totally Fluff's fault if this becomes a thing. I don't know. I don't know how. Like, I don't like it. But would I do it? Absolutely.
Sure.
I'd find time once a week to log in and do it.
Yeah.
I'd be taking a crap Saturday morning and being like, all right, let me get my phone out.
Get my powerful engram. DI.
Yeah. I mean, we would all do it, every single one of us. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Not a good thing.
Sure.
CJ Man Jansen says, do you think Overwatch Mobile will be announced this BlizzCon?
You know, I think something mobile will get announced this BlizzCon.
Aside from DI?
Yeah.
StarCraft mobile?
I think Brack is still peddling the mobile thing. I think Blizzard's very much still peddling the mobile thing. I don't think that we're going to get away from the mobile thing. I think that they'll still even keep it in the BlizzCon space for some reason. Although I think talking about anything mobile related, you could just do at any other con and it'd be fine.
Yeah, you can't talk about
mobile at BlizzCon.
Not at BlizzCon. Not this year.
I think, I don't know, maybe with Activision, so the Call of Duty mobile app just came out. So maybe the FPS might not be the choice. So maybe like a RTS.
Yeah, so like a StarCraft.
Yeah.
Maybe, or Warcraft mobile. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it'd be a MOBA
so.
because Here's the Storms.
Overwatch just dropped on the Switch, so I don't think they would want to put a competitor to it. Maybe they could put some tie-in.
Bro,
to Overwatch.
That's a pattern. That's the pattern, right?
Oh, yeah.
Diablo 3 just came out on
Switch
right
mobile.
before.
We'll see. I don't think it would be Overwatch, like first-person shooter Overwatch. It would, like, not... Okay, so Fortnite you can actually play against PC and console players on your phone. You think they're going to go that far with Overwatch?
It seems to be working for Fortnite.
I mean, Fortnite's targeted at kids though.
Isn't it? I mean, Overwatch is a little bit too.
Is it? I don't know. I wouldn't play it on my phone. Like, my son's got the Call of Duty game that just came out. He likes it. He tried to get me to get it and I refused. So, but other people have also told me that it's like decent. So, no, I don't value their opinion on anything ever again in life now. But,
yeah, sure. Naturally.
Yeah,
you cut all ties, right?
You're checked off the list. I'm never going to take advice from you.
That's when you knew your friendship had ended, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Connor says, how laggy will Season 19 be? Well, considering all the barbs that are going to be rolling.
I could see Fist of Heavens being pretty laggy as well.
Servers are going to be on fire.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. All that stash space we got too now, it's done, dude. It's done. Langdenberg says, Blizzard brings a lot of stuff out pre-BlizzCon. Patch for Diablo and WoW. Units revised for Warcraft 3. More info they bring out pre-BlizzCon. The higher chance that big news is kept for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
WoW expansion plus D4? Question mark.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of tend to think WoW expansion guaranteed. I don't even follow WoW.
Yeah, WoW expansion is like confirmed almost at this point, I believe. So I think it's like done deal.
The thing that concerns me is I think it could be WoW expansion and something new for Overwatch that's like big, and then maybe nothing for Diablo.
Every person that covers Blizzard stuff seems to think Diablo 4 is happening. There are a lot of big YouTubers and things, really, really big YouTubers.
But none of us know shit. That's the problem.
That seem to say it.
Like, you've had people reach out to you, I'm sure. They're like, hey, I work for Blizzard. Like, this
100%.
is what's happening. But, like, we
100%.
can't confirm any of that, right?
Yeah, the only people that I 100% know work at Blizzard would not tell me anything.
Right.
Like, I don't ask them, but
Sure.
they've never, ever leaked anything to me. It's always the person that's like, yeah, my best friend works. He's a manager. And, so some of the shit that people have told me in the past has been 100% on point. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And some of it was like super easy to guess anyways.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, if this year goes by and the leaks that they told me happen to be right, then I put more value in their now, the stuff they tell me.
Sure.
But yeah,
Yep.
well, I think D4 is guaranteed. I said this last year too.
Choo-choo.
I personally think that we're getting D4. With these sets being like they could have easily just held these sets for 2 weeks, showed a little gameplay footage, threw it on a side panel for Diablo 3, spent 15 minutes talking about it, and but they didn't. So they got to give us something for Diablo, and it can't just be Immortal. So yeah. The last question we had, we actually integrated into the podcast. Mick Bogart says, what do you think the 1,000 kills will be? And I think we kind of talked about that. So.
Imperious. What do you think? Okay, just throw something out there. Get free conduit pylon?
No, it's just going to be like mini conduit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope it's better than that.
I hope, and we didn't talk about this, but, we kind of had this idea thrown around on the podcast a while ago where you would touch a pylon, and instead of it triggering, you would get like a buff that you could activate.
Yeah.
I would love to see that with these kill streaks.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was thinking about that earlier, too. I don't even know if we said that or if
No.
it was just a thought I had, but it would be nice if you could save these things up and just
Unleash, right?
Yep. Use it. And maybe you could put a timer on it. Like, you have
30 seconds.
30 seconds to click it or 40 seconds to click it or something.
100%.
I agree. That would be cool.
And you couldn't just stack up a bunch of 15s like over and over. Like they wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, let me pull these notes back up. I wonder which one is going to feel the best, Obviously the 1,000 one, I would hope.
Yeah, I would hope the higher they get, the better they feel.
But like the treasure boxes dropping down, Like how many is it gonna be?
I don't know, dude.
A ring of fire, like that, like the Hellfire ring and the Hellfire amulet. Those suck, you know.
Sure.
And that's the 300 kills one. The 300, like the 150 is a Frost Nova, which could be super beneficial if it hit the right time, which it never will.
That one seems like really lame because it's like it just says Frost Nova freeze enemy. I'd be more hyped if it said a Frost Nova, right? Like if Frost Nova maybe does damage, but this just literally sounds like it freezes enemies. Unless it's like they can't break that CC at all ever, then it's stupid.
Well, yeah, that would be stupid OP. So,
but maybe.
Yeah, I just hope that there's not a thing where you end up breaking your streak to farm a streak. Like, let's say that Frost Nova is like just stupid broken, like it freezes them permanently forever. So you're like, get a big group of enemies, get your 150, break it, try not to get 200, and then, you know, go. I don't know.
At least that's a new like, I don't know, way
Something
to play
to
the
do.
game.
It's a new thing. Yeah, 100%. Well, the stacks also give you bonus though. You can get 100% bonus damage.
True.
You know, if you get your 1,000 stacks. So that's a reason.
Which 1,000 stacks for 100% bonus?
1,000
seems
kills.
A little low. To me.
There's 1,000 kills.
Yeah, but like,
you think
that's gonna break
that's low?
Pretty easily, I think. How many mobs? Like, I wonder how many mobs on average you see in a rift.
Not, I don't think 1,000.
Right.
Do you think you kill 1,000?
In a greater rift, especially like, and like this is never gonna happen on a push. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's say you got that GG battlefield, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not 1,000. Like, not 1,000. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they did that and purposely. Maybe they didn't want you to use this to push crazy.
And again, we should take these all with a grain of salt because this is the PTR patch notes. Like any of this shit can change.
Yeah,
like
these
literally.
kill streaks could be totally modified.
Like everything can change.
Yeah, I'm with you. That is all the questions that we have. Easy peasy. So thank you guys for hanging out. Episode 72. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we're live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And you can ask your questions on Twitter, join our Discords. If you want to find more of me, you can find me everywhere at ThaPChild.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Lord_Fluffy, double those underscores on the Twitters. Bro.
See you guys next week.
2 more episodes, and then it's BlizzCon. Can you believe it?
Done. Yeah, man. And more. Then we're, maybe going to have the one at BlizzCon.
That's only 2 more episodes. You can say, Diablo 4 is coming.
No, because then I'm going to be able to say Diablo 4 is here. We got it.
Oh, it's here? It's going to get launched? Bro, sick.
No, it's not.
Now I'm hyped.
But, we got it.
Now I'm hyped. All right. Anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, dude.